Hi there. Welcome back to the Life on the Film Set podcast. I'm Nick Payne, and this is my friend
I'm George Arton.
George. And this is a podcast about
How to work on a film set and get better at it.
and be great at it. How to be
Yeah.
effective at working at a film set. So our last episode was really just an introduction to
Yes, just for
what
us.
we want to talk about, and this is the first episode we're really kind of diving into some topics.
Yes.
But before we do that, I just want to point out my Sony Venice shirt that I'm wearing with the
I'm jealous a little bit
Rialto
because I don't have
on
that.
it. Yeah, I asked for a free $250,000 camera, but they gave me a free T-shirt instead, so that's okay. And also in the last episode, for if anybody was eagle-eyed, they would have noticed that we had an All-Star Super 8 camera
Yes.
sitting on the coffee table. Today we have the Canon 8mm, which is a standard 8 camera, and believe it or not, it's actually a clockwork camera.
Nice.
It's not electronic at all. You wind
It's
it up
all manual.
like that, yep, and
You can hear it. That's amazing.
you can hear it. Yeah.
It's still working.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
moving on from my T-shirt
For-
and camera on the table. Today we're going to talk about something
Yep.
that I think is really important on set, which is leading and following.
Yes.
And I want to start off by asking you a question.
Sure. Go for it.
Have you had any great experiences on set where you've worked with somebody that, in your opinion, was a great leader?
Absolutely. Last year I worked on a feature, and I worked with DP. Her name is Susan Lamsden.
Ah, Susan.
Yes, you know her.
I do. She's
very
amazing.
well. She is an amazing lady. Like we had a 5-week shoot, and it was a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
A lot of complicated dolly shots, and
Yep.
you name it, of course. And she was great. She was great to how to do it. So how to control the team, and then
Yep.
delegate what we have to do, set up what we have to set up, and with the grip and gaffer, we work all together. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
And of course, we had few people and helping us out, of course. So yeah, it's like we had 3 different cameras,
Yep.
3 different setups. One for Steadicam,
Yep.
one for we had a big long zoom on it,
Oh,
just
yeah,
a specific,
that's
you know, and it was really really heavy.
yeah.
Wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But it was amazing experience, and then also the first AC we had, Anthony, he was great as well. Like,
good.
He was helping
Yeah,
us
cool.
out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I was DRT on that.
That's great.
That shoot,
That's
which
great.
was
Yes.
was great. And Susan is a very technical DP.
absolutely. She's a very
comes
technical
from-
lady.
Comes from the ABC back
That's
in the
right.
time when it was ruled by engineers.
Yes.
But like, she will never hesitate to share that knowledge or
No,
explain things to
absolutely.
people.
She's very down to earth. Like, yes, it's very hard to find.
Yep.
I know, because for me, it's still, I'm just, say last 3 years, I'm full-time be doing it. Yeah, she was the first DP I worked with. Really, she was giving her knowledge all the time. Yeah.
it's amazing. And have you had any experiences with what you would view as poor leadership on set?
Yes, like actually, I just remembered like first time I did the feature, about 8-9 years ago now,
Yeah.
and I don't want to give the name of the.
Yeah. No, please
the-
don't.
And he was great DP, but it was so hard to communicate with him.
Yeah.
It just felt restriction.
Yep.
It's hard to ask him questions, and he gets stressed.
Yep.
It wasn't. It was fun, like because for me it was the first time I'm working,
Yep.
and it wasn't as much, you know. And also the director,
Yep.
and because Matteo, a friend of mine, we were working. He's from Italy, working together on that. So because we were enjoying it, and then I told him one morning before breakfast, let's go and grab some coffee for everyone, bring them on a set, basically thank them because they're giving us this opportunity. And when we came back, the director went off on Matteo, screaming at him and yelling at him. It's like,
Yeah.
and I was so close to leave the set, like literally. We were in Blue Mountains,
Yeah, wow.
And I was like just hanging there because it was basically was the last week of that shoot.
Yeah.
We were there for 2 weeks. But yeah, the long story short was it wasn't fun because we just trying to give them thank
Yeah,
you, basically,
yeah,
just
yeah.
coffee, you know. And we were before still everyone having breakfast.
Yeah.
I know why. I guess it was a stress or something happened.
Yeah.
We don't know, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So that was the wasn't fun experience.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and as much as you say it wasn't fun,
Yeah.
like it was more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
That sort of leadership demotivates
Yes.
people. You go, well, why am I here? Why would I want to
Yeah.
go the extra mile? And yeah, and honestly, like in this day and age, that sort of behaviour is bullying
Exactly.
and is illegal.
Yeah.
You know, there is no place to be yelling at anybody.
Yeah,
on
especially
the film
especially
set.
we drink coffee because
Yeah.
everyone's having breakfast, and it's just it was a good gesture, you know. It's just thank
Yeah,
you.
gesture of goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for those two
You're
stories.
welcome. No worries.
Both good ones, or a good one and a bad one, if you like. So yeah, so I want to talk about
Yeah.
leading and following, right?
Sure.
Because they're both. I mean, they're both two sides of the same thing, and
Yeah.
they're both very important. But before I talk too much about that, I kind of want to reflect on what I think is the underlying problem
Sure.
within the film industry or film system
Yep.
in Australia that drives some of this. And what I think that is, in my opinion, is it goes back to the way that work is funded.
Yes.
So we're working in an environment where where there are certain organisations that have money, and they don't make things.
Yes.
They fund other people to make things.
Yes.
And they allocate that money out on the basis of ideas.
Yes.
All right. So, someone comes along, pitches an idea to them. They go, yep, that's a good idea. We're going to fund that idea.
Yes.
And inevitably what happens is they've got this pot of money and they're dividing it up and they want to fund as many ideas as they can.
Yeah.
So any particular idea is likely to be given a slice of that money that's not quite big enough to do the job really well.
Absolutely.
Right. And so you have a producer that's been given a bucket of money. The bucket of money is not big enough. They want to make it as good as they can and try and stretch that money as far as they can. And so they go out to put together a crew
Yes.
for this project, right? And so this
Absolutely.
is what drives there being all work being temporary work
Yes.
and not being permanent work.
Full time.
And what then happens is you go find a crew, you put them together. You've got this crew that's never met each other before, or might have not. But from the producer's point of view, they're like I need to get the best bang for my buck, so I need people who can hit the ground running.
Yes.
So what they're looking for is experienced people.
Yep.
Right, and that starts to preclude the opportunities for less experienced people to
Come in.
get that experience,
Yeah.
right? So you're immediately creating this environment where you're not developing people,
Yes.
all right? And yeah, there's this idea that if we get experienced people, they'll hit the ground running and things will just work. But the reality is that will never happen whilst that is a team that is coming together for the first time.
Yes. 100%.
That's kind of the underlying problem. And you've probably experienced this on set where you go, first day is hell,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
second day is a bit better.
Yep.
Can take about a week.
Exactly. Exactly. So the feature film I worked
Yeah.
because I have worked with Susan before.
Okay.
So basically, year before that,
Yeah.
we did a 2-day shoot with Susan. So
Oh yeah.
I met them as well because I knew Anthony as well before that. So I knew how to work with them.
Yep.
So that's what was much easier
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So
for that. So that's why I was coming to that.
Yeah. So first day is hell.
Yes, and then the second
Second
time
day is a bit better.
yeah.
Often takes a week.
Sometimes depends on the project. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine recently. We were both talking to him, Matt Ryan. His name
yes,
is a
Matt,
great,
yep.
great DP. And he was saying that, you get to the last day of a shoot and you're like, man, this team is finally
Yeah,
starting to
came
really
together.
be great. And then
Disappear.
it's over and you start all over again.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
It is a challenge,
This is
yes.
I would say, the fundamental structural problem,
Yes.
which I'd like to see change.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see that too.
But that's a bigger
That's another
change that will take
big
some time.
challenge. Yeah.
So in the meantime, the question remains: how do you go on set for the first time? How do you get? How do you as either a leader or a follower act in a way that helps that team come together quickly
Yes.
and hit that, like to storm
The
norm
target.
and hit performance as quickly as possible?
Yes.
So here's the concept I want
Sure.
to talk about.
Sure.
And this concept is called intent-based leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from a book by a guy called David Marquette.
Yes.
The book's called Turn the Ship, and there's a really good YouTube video.
Okay.
And we'll stick that link in the notes
Sure.
so you can look it up.
Check it out.
Check out the notes. Where he talks through this idea. And the story is that he was a submarine captain in the
Okay.
US Navy.
All right.
Right? He was in charge of the submarine that was doing really well. And they went, oh, he's a great captain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put him in charge of this other submarine that's performing really poorly.
All right. Okay.
So he turns up on this submarine, and he very, very quickly realizes that he knows nothing about this different type of submarine.
Okay.
Right? He knew everything about the first one, but nothing about the second one.
Okay.
And that in order for him to be the captain that gives everybody commands and says, do this, do this, do this, he needs to learn the submarine, but he can't. Like, it's too
much.
too complicated. He can't learn it quick enough. They need to turn the ship around in 6 months. And so he sits down with his crew and he goes, what are we going to do? How do we solve this problem? And his crew goes, well, it's simple. You need to keep out of it.
Okay.
Right? Goes, you don't know what to do. We don't know what
Yes.
to do. Instead of you telling us what to do, tell us what you want to achieve,
Sure.
and then we'll decide what we need to do in order to achieve that outcome.
Yep.
And so this is the idea that he then fleshes out about intent-based leadership.
Yes.
So as a leader, being a leader is not about telling people what to do. It's about telling people what you want to achieve.
Yes.
What the outcome is. And so I'll give you an example
Sure.
of this. And so, you and I recently worked with another great DP,
Yes.
a guy called Callum Stewart.
Yep.
Who I've
Yep. Lovely
worked
guy.
with anytime.
Yeah.
Top guy.
Absolutely.
And I think he was really good at this, and possibly without even realizing.
Yeah.
So I was gaffer. We'd go on set. We'd be looking. We'd arrive at a location. We'd going right. We need to get our first setup done. And I go, right, cool. What do you want? What do you need? And he'd go, well, I think we need a bit of light from maybe here, a bit of something from over there, a bit of maybe some negative fill from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he was talking in very, very vague terms, but what he was describing was the intent
What do you
of
want?
what he wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I did, and this is what David Marquette talks about, is that, you as a leader give intent to people.
Yes.
And then what happens is the people that are following you give intent back.
Yes.
Right. So he goes, I want to get the ships out of the heads.
Yeah.
And his, commander, whatever the role is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not the Navy, goes, I intend to
Do
go
whatever it
220
is. Yeah.
degrees north, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, cool.
Yeah.
Go and do it. So Callum does I need a bit of this, a bit of that.
Yep.
And I go, okay, what I intend to do, so I'm going to get an Amaran F-22 light mat. I'm going to boom it up over here. I'm going to put some negative fill along this wall here. And I'm going to
Yep.
get a tube light over here, set it around 4,300 Kelvin. What do you think about that?
Yes.
And he goes, yeah, that sounds good. And
That might work. Yeah.
I think that'll work. That's a good starting point. So you see what's happened there was he
Yeah.
gave me intent,
Exactly.
and I gave intent back. And having given intent back, he's then validated what
Yes.
I'm intending to do.
And because some DPs, they don't delegate much as well, or they don't tell you what they want.
Yep.
They just do it themselves.
Yeah, and I've experienced both. Yeah,
You
guys.
have? Okay.
Guys, I shouldn't say guys, but DPs
Yeah.
of whatever gender,
Yeah.
who who aren't used to leading,
Yeah.
used to doing things themselves. They
Exactly.
just go and do it. You're like,
It's like one man band kind of.
what am I doing
yeah.
here? Yeah, am I helping?
Yeah.
Or at the opposite extreme, you know, DPs or first ADs or directors or whatever the role
Yes.
might be, who tell you, I want you to do this.
That,
And
exactly.
you're like, well, sure, I'm not bringing any of my own expertise to this.
Yes.
I'm just the monkey doing
Yeah.
whatever I'm told,
Yep.
which is not particularly motivating, but it also requires that person who's leading to know everything and understand everything,
Yes. Absolutely.
which is hard.
It is hard. It
Yeah.
is hard.
And you get to a point where it's impossible to know everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so
They're not delicate. They don't delicate, or they want.
yeah, and so some people, all they do is they tell you exactly what
Yes.
to do, and
But sometimes what happens is like if they're doing themselves, then you feel bad.
Yeah.
Are you standing there like, okay, can you tell me something, so I can do it for you?
yeah,
Or
yeah, and like I've been on sets in roles where so I was a gaffer on a documentary short.
Yes.
And the guy who was the camera operator, if you needed a light moved, he'd go move it. And after a while, I went, I'm wasting my time here.
Yeah.
And so I went to the producer and said, look, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go home.
Fair enough. Just if you're not enjoying it as well, there's no point.
Yeah, yeah,
Or because otherwise you want to learn. Like
yeah,
that's another thing,
yeah,
It's I believe like the way Callum does, or someone like him, or Matt, I'm sure.
And Susan,
Susan,
they're-
exactly. You learn more from these people.
yeah. And
I mean, they're not trying to do it purposely, but the other DPs,
Yeah.
I guess that's how they're wired, or how that they learned, or I'm not sure.
well, this is why I want to talk about this stuff, because being a great leader requires a level of self-awareness.
Yes.
Right. So often, the examples of people who aren't great leaders, they're not trying to be bad leaders.
No.
They're just they're not aware of how they are
Yeah.
interacting with people.
Yeah.
It is possible to have great leaders who are just naturally good,
Yeah.
just naturally good at
Gifted.
leading, But for most of us, it is like it's something that you work on. You need to be
Sure.
aware of, and this is both being a leader and being a follower, which is why I want to talk about this and this idea of intent-based leadership.
Yeah.
It's easy because it's a really concrete way to think about how you're communicating and interacting with people
Yes.
on set.
Yes.
Yeah, I give intent. This is the outcome I want to achieve.
Yep.
You give intent back. Okay, I'm going to try and do that. And I go,
If you like the idea,
yep. I then give you validation back, which then gives you confidence to go and do that.
Absolutely,
That thing.
absolutely.
Not you're not second guessing. Is this
Yep.
the right thing to do? And if you've given me intent and I go, actually, no, that's not going to achieve what I think it
Yep.
will. I can say that straight away.
yes.
And you don't go waste time doing something that's not going to work that I
Yeah.
then tell you to
Like,
change.
I'll give you an example. On that feature, I was fully focused with the Steadicam,
Yep.
and one of the locations we had some issues with the follow focus
Oh,
system.
yep. Yep.
We were not sure what was happening. This could be the Wi-Fi or something.
Yep.
So I was struggling. I felt bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and I apologized to Susan. It's like I couldn't do anything. It's like we tried a few things, it wasn't.
Couldn't get it
she
working.
Goes, she goes, "Don't worry, it happens." Like the way she just put them nicely,
Yeah.
and it gave me more confident than anything else.
Yeah.
Because the way she told me,
Yeah.
because it happens, it's not easy. It's always difficult,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing for first time or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just takes time. Could be because then afterwards we realized was
Yeah.
because of the wife and all that. So, but the way she told me, you don't have to worry. Like, don't worry, it happens
Yeah.
to everyone.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that gave me, because of the way she was leading.
Yeah.
She could have told me off. You know,
Yeah,
She could
yeah.
have said anything she wanted, you know.
Yeah.
But she gave me more confidence.
Yeah. That's a great story. And yeah, and it shows that,
The way she was like,
the way
she didn't
that-
put me down. It's like she just
Yeah.
told me, it's like, don't worry about it. It happens.
Yeah, if you can lead well, you want to
'Cause-
develop people.
Yes.
And you want to create an environment where people feel that they're making a meaningful contribution.
Yes.
because that motivates people.
Exactly.
And motivated people
That gave me so much boost.
work hard.
Yeah, exactly. So like now, whatever she in the future, if I work with her again, I'll do anything for her because like she just helped me so much.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's like one thing. Like
Yeah.
the leader, what
Yeah,
it lifts you up, not put you down,
put you
basically.
down, yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about something slightly different,
Sure.
but really important. And so this is about how do you have a hard conversation
Yes.
with somebody. So let's imagine something has gone wrong,
Yes.
or something's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I'm a leader.
Yep.
So let's say I'm a leader and you're
I'm the follower. Yeah. Sure.
And I'm going to come to you and go, George, we've got a problem here
Yes.
that you, George, are responsible for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either you've
yeah.
done, maybe you've done something wrong, maybe it's because you're rubbish, maybe because you just don't know. I don't know why. But let's say something's gone wrong, and I need to have a conversation with you to
Yeah.
go, hey George, this thing's wrong. We need to change
Yes.
something. How would you like me to approach having that conversation with you?
That's a good one, man. Because it just happened.
Did it?
You helped me out.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you did.
I think I know the story.
Well, on the feature, we
Yep.
worked. You were the data wrangler on that.
Yep.
So what happened was because we had 3 different cameras.
Yep.
So because of we were rushing.
Yep.
So I must be, somehow I just put them in Susan's bag
Yep.
because she had a little,
Yep.
know, the card, whatever they call it. So now, so what happened was like then we were missing a card.
We were.
And it was like no number because normally I had it and then I just take a photo. For some reason,
Yep.
for that I didn't. And somehow because I was
Yep.
rushing. So when then I came to you and then it's like, okay, let's go and have a look.
Yep.
We figured out something.
Yep.
Luckily, we didn't use that card and it still
Yep.
was in the bag. And then we just copied it straight away.
Yep.
And that's how we fixed it.
Yep.
So it was my fault because of that moment. Somehow I just put it instead of putting it in the box,
Yep.
something happened. I can't remember.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I was very, very lucky because we didn't format that because that would have been totally
That would have been very bad.
Totally different,
Would be very bad.
outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But because of like the way you just told me is like, let's take it easy. Like just let's go and have a look. We got through the cards, so we went whatever spare
Okay.
cards we had.
Yeah.
That's what we did, and then we find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good story. So that's an example. Something that's gone wrong.
Yes. But
And-
because of the way you said it, let's go and have a look.
Yep.
I think that helped me as well.
Yeah.
Because you gave me kind of boost. It's like
Yeah. So
it happens, mistakes happens. Like
Yeah.
if it happens.
yeah.
But yeah, like I was very lucky. Still with all the footage
Yeah.
from day before was there.
Was there? Yeah. So I'd say this will be the first point that I'd make
Yeah.
about having a hard conversation. Is so point number 1, don't blame.
Yes.
Right? To go, hey, there's a problem here.
Yeah.
And this is all this is. It's a problem to solve.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter who did something that wasn't right.
That's right.
Our job here is to understand the problem, to solve the problem,
Yep.
and to work out the right thing to change to avoid the problem
Yes.
happening again. So in that circumstance, once we found the missing card and
Yeah.
and
Actually, from that point, we start taking photos.
exactly, yeah.
It wasn't
the card
after.
came out of the camera.
Yeah. So we take
Took
photo.
the photos, yeah, and that gave us an audit trail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that
that gave me. Then after that was just more easy
yeah
to follow.
Yeah, we improved the system of
Exactly.
work around
Especially
managing
that-
and tracking
that's it.
cards. Yeah,
Because almost we had one stage we had 5 cameras.
yeah,
if you remember.
Yes, yeah, that's right. It was chaotic. So yeah, so that would be the first thing I'd say. Like if you're dealing with a problem like that, it's just a problem.
Yeah.
Don't blame.
No.
It's just a problem to be solved. It's not about like everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
Everybody has different levels of experience.
Yep.
If somebody has done something that's that shows a lack of experience in a
Yes.
particular area, because they might be really great at other things.
Yes. Yes.
It's an opportunity to help them
Absolutely.
by
Just
improving their
giving them
experience. So that would be the first thing. So let me change tack a bit. So we've been just kind of giving examples of things that have gone wrong.
Yes.
Where we're not sure how it happened. We're trying to solve the problem. There are situations where something might go wrong, and it's very, very clear that a particular individual, it went wrong because of a particular individual, and that maybe it is continuing to go wrong because a particular individual is doing something a certain way or acting in a certain way or something like that. And so there is a point where you have to have a hard conversation with somebody, which is about them.
Yep.
About, I need to talk to you about you and and what you are doing.
Yes.
And what I'd like you to do instead.
Absolutely.
So there's a couple of things I'd say about that.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Have the conversation. View it as you are doing them a favor and showing them respect by talking
Example,
directly
I guess,
to them.
as well. Like, you be an example to them as well.
Yeah. You're setting a good example, and you're not talking behind their back and you're going, hey, I respect you enough to talk to you directly
Directly to face.
about
Yeah.
this. So don't beat around the bush. Will be the first thing. And then the second thing I'd say is that when you have this sort of conversation, you want to be very, very focused on the thing, whatever it is. So on the behaviour you want to see, and avoid getting bogged down in talking about attitude.
Yes.
It's hard to have a conversation with somebody where you go, well, the problem is you've got a bad attitude. Like you'll never win.
No.
Like if somebody came to me and said you've got a bad attitude, I'd be like, stuff you.
Yeah.
And they'd go, see, there's the
They
proof.
get they're defensive. Yeah, exactly.
But if somebody came to me and went, hey, I need you to do this instead of this.
Yes.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Right. Here's why, this is the way we do things, or we need to do it this way because of the flow-on effect of this. That's a conversation where I can go, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
And yes, I'll do that.
I'll give you an example. Like, on the feature, so middle of the second AC, she slated,
Yeah.
and somehow she just disappeared. I know why she went.
Went for a durry?
Maybe, maybe. And then we just cut, and then she's not there.
Yeah.
I was like, where is she? Where is she? She's like, anyway, she came straight away. We just slated, and then I told her, if you're gonna leave, just let me know.
Yeah.
Or let other person know,
Yep.
the third AC. So then we can take over of you, and then we can do it.
Yeah.
You can just let us know,
Yeah.
because otherwise we're just going to wait until the camera's going to roll.
Yeah.
And she apologized, and of course she didn't do that after that.
Yeah. So, and I think that's a great example of directness.
Exactly. Just let us know.
honesty.
Simple as that. Like,
Yeah.
George, I have to go to the bathroom, for example. Or I just need some air. I just want to go out, you know.
There's too many people in here.
Yeah, it was especially on that day.
That's it. Yeah. Very, very
But
tense.
yeah, that's how it was. Just tell her, like, you just can't leave during the middle of the shoot, because you're important on that, you know.
Yeah.
She is, because that's her, that's an important job too.
Yeah. Look, I think the other thing I'd say is that, ultimately, like particularly with these temporary crews, like you're coming together.
Yeah.
Like what you do, how you work, how other people work, what you do so that it all meshes together with each other.
Yes.
Is a negotiation.
Exactly.
Like it's I'm used to doing things this way. You're used to doing things another way. We can't do things differently.
That's
We
right.
need to negotiate with each other
In
and find a
between.
way that's going to work. And, so we need to talk to each other. And in talking to each other, we need to be going, what are we trying to achieve?
Yes.
What's the goal here? What's our intent?
Exactly.
What's the intent of the TP, intent of the director? And if we can focus on that intent, then we can agree on
100%.
the best way to manage achieving whatever, doing
Yes.
doing X.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So there's one more thing I want to
Sure.
talk about
Tell me.
in this question of following and leading and,
Yep.
and creating great environments on set.
Yes.
And this is the idea that ultimately your goal when you go on set, if you're a leader, and if you're a follower, ultimately your goal on set is you want to create a team that is able to self-organize
Yep.
and solve problems on the fly,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So you don't want to be in a situation where if something goes wrong, people are just standing around going, it's not
I
my
don't know
problem.
what's happening. Yeah.
You want to create a team where if something goes wrong, everybody jumps on it and goes, right, let's solve this.
Exactly.
And to get a bit technical for
Yes.
a second, one of the most amazing examples of this kind of mindset is actually how the Japanese make cars.
Yep.
So the Toyota production system, where they've
Yeah.
got this production line and the cars on them and they move along, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and there's all these people at different stations.
Yes.
If something goes wrong at any point along that production line, they stop the line.
And wow.
Yeah, so there's a thing called an and on board that shows the status of everything and everything's working. And if something goes wrong, they stop the line and everybody goes to where the problem is and works together to solve the
To
problem.
solve it, but that's awesome.
And it's called swarming. So
Yeah.
swarming on a problem to solve it as quickly as possible to then get the line going and
Yeah.
make it work again. So, and that is called, and they call that swarming.
Swarming, yes. So what happened recently? So Ian is behind the camera. He's a good mate, and so we were on a project on a short film, and we were shooting at the beach. So we had a generator.
Oh, yeah.
So him and another Victor, he's a good man.
Good second AC. Yeah.
Second AC. So they were trying to figure out what was happening because it turned on, was working, and then
That's
turned
the
off.
generator, yep.
Yeah, and then they went and they did it again. It had the same thing, start working, and then it stopped. Now it wasn't working. So because I was doing something else with Callum,
Yep.
and they were struggling, I was like, okay, let's go and then have a look what's happening.
Yep.
So then once we got there, we start working, three of us, like, okay, try that button, that,
Yep.
just figuring out what was the problem. And then I realized the cat,
Oh, yeah.
it says on and off.
Yep.
And as soon as I turned on start working.
Allows the air to suck in.
Exactly.
To the fuel tank allows
Yes.
fuel to flow through.
That's exactly
to the
right. So my point
carburetor.
is on that is we were going every single thing because there's not many things on the motor.
Yep.
So it has to be something like
Yep.
simple. But to figure, and it was
Pitch black, yeah.
pitch black. It's like we
You
were using
didn't have a
our
light
phones.
because the generator didn't work. Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and we solved it, and then we just
Yeah.
finished it after
And that's
that.
a really good example, yeah.
Yeah.
That idea of everybody, let's just all muck in.
We
and
were
let's
focusing
make-
because
make this happen.
because we had to do it because it's
Yeah. So I mean, the question that comes out of it is how do you create an environment where a team comes together and
Yeah.
it acts like that? So everybody takes
yes,
responsibility
exactly.
for achieving the outcome, and you don't have people, going, it's not my fault, it's not my job,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I think and so fundamentally, for that to happen, people need to talk to each other.
Yes,
And so if you're a leader and you're trying to achieve that, I think there's kind of two subjects that you need to get people talking to each other
Yep.
about, right? And this might be 15-minute briefing at the start of the day. It might, several times a day or at the end of the day or something like that. But you create these opportunities where you bring people together and you get them talking to each other about these two things.
Yep.
So the first thing you get them talking about is sharing information, or kind of, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you working on? What are you working on right now? What do you need? We're about to go into this next setup. What are you going to do? What do you need? What do you know that?
How I can help?
Yeah, how can other people help you?
Yeah.
You know, which might be keep out of my way.
Yeah.
You know, and we've done that. We've been on
Yes.
set where we're like, we need just everybody to be out there so we can get this
Yes.
jib up with this thing overhead because
Exactly.
it's too dangerous
Yep.
and there's too many people, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's the first thing.
Yes.
Create these opportunities for people to talk about the work that they are about to do
Yep.
and what they need from each other. The second thing you want to get them talking about is what's not working, what could we do
To make it work.
make it better
Yes.
to overcome problems.
Yep.
And it's one thing to do that when something goes wrong that's really obvious.
Yes.
You know, we need to get people together to talk about it. But when things are going, even when things are going really well, you want to have people talking about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to have people go, oh yeah, things are going really well. You know, but there's always something. There's
Yeah.
always something you can improve.
100%.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and I can think of a
Yeah.
short that we were on recently
Yes. Yes.
where it was 2 days and, you know,
It was-
classic, new team,
Yes.
total chaos day one.
The first day, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I pulled back.
Yeah.
If you notice.
Remember that? I lost I didn't lose my temper, but I was a little less composed than usual at one point on one set
Especially
with
the
lots,
kitchen.
Lots of people. Shh, don't mention that kitchen. And you were like, "Oh, just give him,
Okay.
give him some space. But the next morning,
And then
like,
we had to get everyone, the
Yeah.
head department, everyone together,
yeah,
have a chat.
we got our department together. We went, oh man, yes,
Okay.
that was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, what could we do? Like, and I didn't come in and go, let's do this today. I went, what do you guys think?
Yes.
You know, what could
Exactly.
we do different? And
And
tossed-
then yeah,
tossed
we help
ideas around.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, tossed ideas around, negotiated with each other. We went, okay, this is what we're going to
Yeah.
try.
And we made a deal.
Yeah, we made a deal with each other,
Yes.
exactly. And then we called the director in and the first AD, and we went,
And then
hey,
DP.
Yep,
Yeah.
this is the
How we're
discussion
gonna do
we've
it.
just had and
Yep.
what we want to try. Are you okay with that? What do you think?
Yes.
They gave us some input, and yeah,
And then I think everyone was happy after that.
yeah, day two went much
was
better.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the you want to create you want to create a team, right? And so
Yes.
this is if you are the leader who just tells people what to do, you will never create a team.
Yes.
Right? You're just the surgeon going, nurse, wipe my brow. You know? If you want to create a team
Yeah.
that works together and performs well, solves problems,
Exactly.
innovates, you need to create an environment where you create opportunities for them to share information
That's
with each
right.
other, and you create opportunities for people to talk about how to
I
get
think
better.
for us was that we were there to help them basically.
Yeah.
That's what was taught for me,
Yeah.
and you. So because it's a student project, I think it was.
Yep.
And I think I really enjoyed that one because after the second day especially because everything went very smoothly because we were just communicating. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do this, let's do that. You're happy with that? If she was happy, both of them, DP and the director,
Boom, away we
and
went.
then you're just
Yeah.
done. And
Cool. So let
Yeah.
me recap everything
Yep.
that we've spoken about today.
yeah, please do.
We've talked about leading and following,
Yes, we did.
using intent.
Yes.
So as a leader, I give intent. This is the outcome I want to achieve. As a follower, you give intent back.
Yep.
I intend to do this.
And
So
then
do you think
and
that
then,
will work?
And then I'll go and do it.
Yep. Then I validate, and you go and do it. We talked about having hard conversations
Yes.
about don't apportion blame.
Yeah.
It's about, hey, it's just a problem. We're here
And then
about
fix
to
the
find a
problem.
solution.
Yeah.
Having enough respect to people to be
Absolutely.
direct and to
Yeah.
speak up and not.
You got to have a respect,
Keep it to
regardless, if they did mistake or not.
Yeah.
Like, still you're gonna have it.
And then we've talked about creating self-organizing teams that swarm on problems and fix them.
Yes. Fix
By
problems.
creating opportunities for those people to come together and to talk about the work that they're doing.
Yes.
And things that can be done to make things better.
100%.
Yeah, cool.
No, I think they were great, man.
Awesome.
I hope some, people will, learn something from what we just talk about.
Yeah, and look, even for me, and I guess you just talking through these things out loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Helps you be more cognizant of how you're behaving on set
Yep.
and things you might be
And
able
then
to do better.
people can learn from us as well.
Cool. So that's the end of today's episode. I reckon next episode we might talk about the flow
Yes.
of work,
Yep.
how to
Yep.
understand how work flows and how to coordinate between departments.
Yes.
Check us out on the socials. So on Instagram at Life on the Film Set, Facebook page Life on the Film Set, and www.lifeonthefilmset.com. If you've got feedback, if you want to keep the conversation going, if you've got stuff you'd like us to talk about, the socials are a good place to do that. Feel free to message us directly as well. There is one more thing
Yeah.
I want to mention before we sign off today.
Sure.
And that is that we're able to do this because we have
We have some
some friends helping us.
amazing friends we have here.
We have David Doe on sound.
Yes.
Yay. We have Ella Richards, a general camera assist, all-round awesome person. And we have Ian.
Ian,
I can never pronounce his last name.
Mr. Ian, we call him.
Who is
and he's a great guy.
he is acting as
Thanks, mate.
DP
Appreciate
today.
it.
Doing a great job making us.
Yeah, he's doing this to us. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
See you next time.
Ciao.